Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Radio Entrepreneurs. My name again is Jeffrey Davis. I am the host of Radio Entrepreneurs, also the founder and CEO of Mage, LLC, management consulting firm in the Boston area. And during these times of great chaos, we love to talk to entrepreneurs and how they're succeeding despite all the changes that are going on regularly. Our next guest, someone I'm a big fan of, Frank Odell, General Manager, Able Control, General Manager, Owner, Entrepreneur for Able Control. Welcome, Frank.
Thank you, Jeff.
So, Frank, I have firsthand evidence of how good your company is, but why don't we tell our listeners first what you do?
So Able Control is a smart home integration company. We basically don't specialize in any one area, but we cover anything from, motorized window treatments, whole house audio, video, networking. We do cameras, we do lighting control, you name it. If it's in the house and it's smart, we do it.
Smart house.
Yeah.
Well, that's become a pretty important concept right now. It seems like everybody's moving towards these fully integrated smart houses. It's pretty tough if they're not integrated. Isn't that correct? It's like, 20 apps on your phone?
Yeah, and that's, we find that a lot. People, they tend to go to different places online, Amazon, Best Buy, whatever, and they download, they go and buy all these products, download all these apps. I've even had friends call me and they're like, "What do you use?" And I'm like, something that takes your 20 apps and puts it into one. It gets frustrating trying to do that.
So how long have you, what motivated you to start this business and what's your background?
What motivated me was kind of seeing what some of the other companies out there, I've been doing this for about 20 years and seeing what some of the other companies that I worked for, some of the weaknesses were, I worked for one company and his, he'd do okay and get the job done. But then I just felt like, though he didn't have the contact with the customers, the follow through of getting the job done right the first time, and being on site, being accessible to the customer, those kind of things. And it was frustrating working for somebody who, didn't have the hands-on as an owner of a company, I think is important. And so that was one of my driving factors of starting this.
Well, there's a lot of companies out there that do this sort of home electronics. Do you have a competitive advantage?
Yeah, so I think what our competitive advantage is, Jeff, is when we do an install for somebody, we kind of live, we kind of live with it at the customer's house. We go through every scenario possible. We test everything. We make sure it works perfect. We don't want our phones to ring because something's not working. So that's, I think what we strive for is to make sure that we go through every single scenario in every room, every TV, every light, everything that's installed, and just make sure everything's perfect.
Well, I have to admit that I have personal experience with Able Control. It was referred to me by somebody else I do business with. It wasn't necessarily a friend. And I have a house that had a lot of apps and a lot of things that were not working in coordination. And you came in and you did not leave until you made everything work and work correctly, and it made it more simple to make everything work as well. So I've had that experience as well. Do you find it hard to get people to know you in terms of the business or find the business? Because there's a lot of people out there who say they do what you do.
Yeah, I guess at times, we basically started in officially. We started, officially in September. At times, it's been difficult at times, but things are growing at a good rate. We're getting in front of people, and 95% of our work is word of mouth. So out of those jobs, we get 95% of the business because of that. So it works out well.
Interesting. Is technology changing dramatically? Am I going to see a lot more different things in the next year and a half?
Oh, definitely. Some of the things that are happening that happen a lot is just like phones and computers and stuff like that. It's the same thing with technology where, even like a smart TV, in a couple of years, the technology, the resolutions, the speeds, the capacities, all that stuff. It just, things change so quickly, and then the demand on the products to keep up with the technology ends up changing so much that things become outdated pretty quick. So yeah, we're going to see a lot of changes in the next few years for sure.
You do both business, B2B and B2C. Do you do homes and business?
Absolutely. Yep.
Is there a difference, do you think, in the two markets?
Oh yeah. Business is a lot different. In general, businesses, they're using their stuff, most businesses, during the week, where, homeowners are usually using their stuff at night on the weekends. Total different uses. Businesses are, in general, they're looking to do like video, maybe some lights or something like that. And where homeowners are doing a lot of music, a lot of stuff outside, whole house control and stuff like that, where businesses are usually specific to their needs.
And I would assume that the trend for home security is changing everything dramatically too. And would you agree also that that's not something to be done as a one-off? It has to be integrated with everything you do. Don't just buy a doorbell.
Yeah, so that's another big thing too, is people, they end up buying cameras, and they buy a doorbell, and they buy this and they buy that. We recommend, like we're talking about before, having everything in one app. So you have cameras. Your cameras can integrate with your doorbell, can integrate with your system. Now, the camera picks up motion somewhere. It could turn a TV on. It could turn a light on. A real criminal, if they see a light go on outside, it's not really going to scare them off too much, because that could just be, a light on a sensor. But if they see a TV turn on in the house, they're probably not going inside. So there's a lot of things like that.
You made me smile because you said a real criminal. What is that versus a pretend criminal?
Well, I mean, like a teenager walking around trying to steal change out of people's cars,
Oh, yes. I've had that experience too. Teenage vandals.
Yeah.
So you differentiate between teenage vandals and professional criminals, if there's such a thing. We've been speaking with Frank Odell, general manager, entrepreneur, owner of Able Control LLC. Frank, if someone's looking for Able Control and you and wants to understand how you can help them with their home or their office, how would they find you?
So they can go to our website, which is www.ablecontrol.com. That's ABLE control.com. And they can call us, 781-882-2253 is our phone number.
So, Frank, we're wondering about having you coming back and telling us maybe a case story. Let's say like the house that was haunted and worked on its own, and how you sort of solved all the problems within that home or office. Would you do that?
Yeah. Yeah, we actually, I guess a good quick story I could tell you is we did a job for a funeral home, and I felt like it took us longer to rip out the stuff they had than it did to put in the new stuff. I mean, they had stuff from 30 plus years ago with knobs and dials and, sliders and buttons to push and instructions, and it was unbelievable. And so we went in, we put all new TVs in, we integrated everything. They have a touch screen. They hit one button and, everything works. Where before, when they hired somebody, it took them like a week to train them. Now they just go up to a touch screen and push a button, and the TVs come on and, does what it wants it to do. And they're able to show presentations and play music and, anything anybody wants when they go in there for their service, for their loved ones. They can do by a push of a button now versus a half an hour work. So, we've done some good stuff like that.
Great. Well, we look forward to seeing you again and hearing about how things are changing. Again, we're speaking with Frank Odell, entrepreneur, founder, and general manager of Able Control. Frank, thanks for being on Radio Entrepreneurs today.
Thanks a lot, Jeff.
Okay. Remind everybody, this is Radio Entrepreneurs.